Welcome to Extraterrestrial Reality. Today I want to talk about some pictures that were leaked apparently on Twitter last night by a strange account that appeared and then disappeared at Ha. And then the account disappeared. I found these images on Twitter today, and actually there are people, I found out later that actually people have been talking about them all day long on Reddit. And basically there are 10 images that I could see here that purport to show leaked images of triangular shaped craft, and also what looks like possible Tic Tacs. And I guess we're going to go through each of these images one by one. Anyway, before we do it here, one of the tweets that I found that I read today was written by somebody named Rob G. at Happy Adams Tees, and he wrote, "These images were originally posted by a new account at Ha, reposting for exposure." Basically, Rob G's reposting them for exposure. "They are purported to be leaked screen grabs, presumably from the Clear Triangle video and others. I cannot verify the authenticity of these images, merely sharing accordingly." So I'm just going to go through some of these, or these all 10 images one by one, if we can. And this first one that we're looking at, it looks like it's taken from some sort of aircraft. Looks like something floating in the sky. You can't really make out the shape, but apparently this is the triangle, because you'll see in some of the later images here that that's what it might be, but I really can't. You really can't tell. I'm not sure. The next image is clearly a triangle. I mean, it looks like it's taken from off the wing of a jet fighter somewhere, maybe over the ocean. I'm assuming it looks like. These images look pretty good, actually. Again, we don't know if they're real or not, but the way things are right now, I mean, I guess we could expect some leaks to come. Apparently what happened here, somebody, if they're real, right, what somebody did here is apparently they had access to a computer that had these images on it, and they basically took pictures off the computer screen, so the quality isn't that good, as you can see, but at the same time, these images are provocative. I mean, this triangle one here is one of the better ones, actually. Now, let's continue. The next one is this one's not that good. Like, I'm not sure what we're looking at here. I mean, on the top toward the left, top left, it looks like you're seeing a part of maybe the aircraft that's where this picture's getting taken from, and then right off there, it looks like, I don't know, it looks like that could be a cloud. I'm not sure. This picture's not that good, or it could be the object. But then on the bottom left hand area of the same picture, maybe that's supposed to be something there. Maybe that's a triangle again. I'm not sure. This is not one of the better pictures in the batch. So let's just continue here. The next picture is very provocative. Looks like a picture taken down toward the ocean. It looks like 3 Tic Tac type objects floating above the ocean. As you can see, there doesn't seem to be any visible means of propulsion. And who knows if they're coming in, about to dive into the water, or maybe they just flew out, or maybe they never were seen going in the water at all. Maybe they're just flying above the water, and this is where the picture was taken. And another thing to keep in mind, it's unsure whether these are just images, still images that are available, or whether these pictures were taken from moving video. It's just not clear. So anyway, as we move forward, the next image looks like a triangle. It's a little blurry. It could be taken from inside the cockpit of a jet fighter, and maybe the reason it's blurry is because it's zipping by so fast. But it's clearly a triangular shaped object. And again, I just want to keep in mind here, we don't know if these images are real or not. I mean, there's a big debate. I mean, if you're to go on to Reddit, if you're a fan of UFO Reddit, you'll see that there's a lot of people, I would say probably most of them, would agree, and probably rightfully so, that it's just unknown. I mean, what are these things? I mean, is this a fake, or somebody's trying to fake out the UFO community, or is there somebody who had access leaking these things? I mean, it's a little bit, it could be a trick. I mean, somebody created a fake account and they go on Twitter, and then they release these images that they faked somehow, and then they just disappear. Their Twitter account disappears, but the images, everyone makes copies of the images. Or maybe it's somebody real and these images are real. I would say they are provocative. I mean, I guess the thing is if somebody is going to fake something, a lot of times the fakes, usually you could spot a fake pretty good. I mean, because one of the things that gives them away is sometimes the quality is just too good, and then you realize, well, this is CGI. But I mean, again, somebody could be really thinking outside the box here and faking these too. But again, I don't know. They appeared under mysterious circumstances, the person who presented them, and then they disappeared under mysterious circumstances. But I mean, at least the images, we have the images now. Somebody's leaking, apparently, if they are in fact leaked from the Pentagon. Okay, let's continue and look at the next image here that we got. Now this looks like, apparently this is the triangle in from a different perspective. Unless it's a different object, but I mean, it could be the triangle in a different perspective, the triangle that we saw before, either coming toward the camera or flying away. It's really hard to tell, but it's a very interesting shot. Again, it looks like it's taken over the ocean. I mean, I'm assuming these were taken from jet fighters flying off aircraft carriers, because as you'll see, there's actually one image, at least as we go through this, where it looks like it was taken from actually the aircraft carrier itself. Okay, let's continue. And I guess the other thing is, now here, this one's a triangle. Again, obviously, it looks like a perfect triangle. Very strange, very strange. I mean, I guess the other thing to keep in mind about these images is, maybe this is the beginning of something great. I mean, maybe we're going to start getting this all the time. But I think the important thing would be to have verification. It would be nice. Hopefully somebody from the Pentagon will step forward and either confirm that these are real, or tell us that they're fake. And the whole thing is you need to have something. You need somebody behind this. Unless, and that's the problem with UFOs in this day and age. I mean, it'd be a lot harder, back in the old days when there was, way before CGI. I mean, it would be very difficult to fake images like these, right? So, when you see something like the McMinnville UFO or the Rex Heflin UFO, or, there's so many, classic pictures of UFOs, they were taken at a time when, it would be very difficult to fake something like that. But these days, I mean, you need to have some sort of backup. You need a credible source, and a credible source, of course, would be the Pentagon. If they were to confirm this, I mean, that would be, credible. And maybe the person who is leaking these is, could be in big trouble. Okay, let's continue here on to the next image. Now this looks like Tic Tac, from above, floating above the ocean here. At least one, maybe two. It looks like two, possibly maybe even three. If you look, there's something faded over. There's the one where the cursor's pointing right at it, and then there's the one right off, to the just north of it, just northeast of it, basically. And then if you go northeast from that one, from the middle one, there looks like there might be a third one, but you could barely see. But again, this is pretty interesting stuff. And again, if these pictures turn out to be real, that means we're getting another step closer to the end game. Okay, the next picture, this one, I don't know, looks like This is your classic cigar-shaped type object out there, hovering in the sky. I mean, again, it could be one of those triangles that we saw in those earlier pictures, just from a different angle, or it could be maybe one of those Tic Tacs from a different angle. It's really hard to tell. But yeah, these are very interesting pictures. Again, we don't know for sure. Let's all keep that in mind. We don't know for sure if they're real, but they looked pretty good to me, and I liked the, it's something to talk about. And in the event that they do turn out to be real, again, I could be, this whole video at some point, I could be made to look like a fool. But anyway, moving on. The next picture, this looks like it could be taken from the back of aircraft carrier perhaps, and I'm not sure what's going on here. I mean, you can see some water action here in the foreground, but then that white object, what's going on? Was that skimming on top of the surface of the ocean there, and is it about to take off, or is it about to fly into the ocean? I mean, it's hard to really say. But again, it's a very, very interesting picture. And again, we all have to be, these pictures, it's unclear. Again, I think it needs to be stated, it's unclear what the story is with these images. But there you have it. Potentially leaked Pentagon UFO images, whether they were stills where they were taken off the screen by this person, or whether it was from a moving video. It's unknown. It's unknown if they're even real. But again, I thought it was interesting enough to post them on here because they could turn out. I mean, we've had leaks in the past, but usually we had somebody to talk about, somebody that said, yeah, they're leaked, that they admitting that they're leaked. In this case, we don't have someone admitting that they're leaked. But again, if you go back to some of these, some of these are pretty spectacular. I mean, I would say, that the close-up picture of the triangle here that looks like it was taken off the, that's a very interesting picture. It looks like it was taken, pretty much from the cockpit of a fighter, possibly. You have some, you can't see much detail. Again, you're looking at a picture off a LCD screen, apparently. And then there was another image of the object. It looks like the triangle from an angle. It looks like it's flying. It looks like it could be flying right toward the camera. That's another very interesting picture. And again, it looks like it's above the ocean. And again, we've heard from many military officials, flyers, who say they see these objects all the time. Well, these could be some of them objects that they're seeing all the time. I know there's a lot of people out there who talk about TR-3Bs, these triangular craft that have been developed by our own government, and they're top secret projects, and nobody really, they're not verified. They're not. We don't. Nobody talks about them from the Pentagon. I don't know if that's what we're seeing here. This could be. I mean, I'm not sure about that here. This doesn't look like there's any. I don't see anything. You don't see any sort of exhaust or anything going on here, and then later on you have the Tic Tac type objects. I mean, obviously, I can't imagine that they would be man-made. I don't think, I can't imagine anything in these. If these are not fakes, I'm just going to make this statement. I'll say this: if these are in fact real, I don't think that any of them are man-made. I just don't see it. I mean, so these are like perfect triangles in some of these pictures. I mean, it just seems too far beyond our technology to have something like that. That's just incredible to me. But anyway, hey, for what it's worth, what do you think? And I would also like to add one other thing here is Dr. Gary Nolan, who's been making a name for himself in the world of UFOs these days. He also made a comment on Twitter about these images, stating that I never have seen these before. Interesting. So he actually sees some apparent possible value to these images. So anyway, hey, let me know what you think. If you think that they're real or if you think they're fake, I guess we really don't know, do we? But they are definitely intriguing and definitely worth taking a look at for sure.